Insidious, The Final Key. A weird title for this film, considering it's actually a prequel, so I guess it would be the first key? Also, this is good for me because I haven't seen any of the previous Insidious films. Fortunately, I don't need to understand this one. So I'll describe the plot as best I can. A lady with The Shining grows up into an old woman who runs Ghostbusters with a pair of unfunny sidekicks. She returns to her childhood home to finally face the demons that are plaguing it. The side characters kind of come across as gimmicky and not really all that funny. They do have a couple of nice lines. Mostly from the bigger guy, Tucker. Though I gotta be honest, I'd rather have this Tucker.
No way, I'd rather have a gun. But I've got a gun. What are you gonna do, shoot it with ghost bullets? Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
The other guy, Specs, played by, I think he wrote this one, Lee Wanell, is just kind of lame. He tries too hard to come across as trying too hard to be funny, and as a result it comes across as a guy who's failing at comedy. Fortunately, we got a really strong protagonist to pull us through this. Our hero is Estelle, an old woman with the ability to see ghosts, and essentially she's trying to communicate with the spirits, and she does a really good job in this. She can play like very intense scenes, and she can also do like very emotional scenes as well. There is definitely this sense that she's trying to help the ghosts as much as she is trying to help the people. When she comes across one, she's very nurturing, saying, "Hey, don't be afraid, come to me." In reality, the audience is saying, "No, stay away from the ghost. We don't want another jump scare." She also did really well as a kid in the first few minutes of this. Honestly, I remember thinking to myself at the cinema, even if the rest of this film is complete garbage, I've got to give it a point for this first opening. Fortunately, it continues the atmosphere that's set up in the opening because the horror in this is really well done. I mean, the setup is really nothing new. I mean, we've seen stuff like this in Poltergeist and The Exorcist. I mean, you got the ghosts that convince people to do horrible things, and we've got some nice ghosts in there as well. We got the woman who comes in who's psychic, except this time she's the main character. And we have a door to the upside down, I mean the otherworld, I mean fill in the blank here. But it feels like cliche in the same way that vampires and werewolves are cliches. These are just kind of the rules that you associate with this particular archetype of monster. And the horror associated with them definitely seems to be one about atmosphere and delivering a good payoff. The film's very good at doing that. It is very good at like building the atmosphere before it scares you, and that's easily the best part. Because it's really not the boo or the monster itself that frightens people. It's the setup, it's the preparation. The allegory that I always think of when thinking of a tense scene is the allegory of two people sitting at a table. There's a bomb under the table. They don't know the bomb's there. We're just watching these two people have a conversation waiting for the bomb to go off. It's all about the build-up. And the build-up in this is fantastic. There was a lot of moments in this where I wanted the night scenes to be over so it was day again, just so I could escape this horrifying situation. That's a brilliant sign for a horror film. On top of that, the scares weren't well telegraphed, which I really like, because you're always like, it shouldn't be about, oh, here comes the jump. It should be about, what is that? What is that? What is that? It's a problem that the remake of It fell into, and this is, in my opinion, some of that horror done right. Like I said before, the monster itself isn't all too interesting, though it does have a pretty cool design, in that it's this thing that most of the time all you see is the hand, and on the end of the hand are keys. That's a very interesting idea, and how it uses the keys is genuinely creepy. So all in all, it's got a great main character, some great horror, so it's a 7 out of 10. It's great even if you haven't seen the other installments. There's a bit at the end which I think leads into the first film, if I had to guess. Like I said, I haven't seen the first film. All I know is the front cover with the creepy child, which, thank God this film doesn't go for the creepy child stereotype. You can add that to the list of things that don't scare me: clowns, balloons, and children. Call me crazy, I'm just not scared of anything that's close to the ground enough for me to kick it in the head. But maybe I'll have to check those films out, because if they're anything like this one, I'm in for a good time. It's a solid horror film, and I highly recommend it. Take care now, bye bye then.